Part 2, the culture. I think the culture of the main characters are mainly a low-context American culture, like I said earlier, staged in the late 1960s, 1967. I am trying to think how the main character's culture relates to members of different cultures. I think the cultures of the characters definitely really relate to certain individualistic cultures more so than collectivist cultures, with such traits as individualism, self-reliance, and personal identity being prized. It would probably relate to certain European culture. I already said that I believe the Xander's culture is one that relies on individualism. I think this movie has some common American stereotypes that run through it, the first one being the image of a white middle-class family. I also believe that the culture exhibited by the Xanders is also low context, meaning rules are clearly stated, instructions are explicit, knowledge is made public, etc. Interpersonal relationships. I am reviewing the scene right after the first scene of the movie where they fake the seance to the old man and his daughter and make him think that he is talking to his dead wife when Lena misbehaves and scares the hell out of him and his daughter, and they leave very frightened. After this, we get a first glimpse of the relationships presented in the Xander family. You can tell Lena and her mom have a very comfortable relationship, though stern at times. At the same time, we can detect the intimacy of their mother-daughter relationship is affected by Lena's closedness, mostly because of her age, being a teenager. Doris then asks her mother what a scam is because the daughter of the man who was just there called their operation a scam. Alice approaches her daughter with care and tells her that they don't lie. They help people, and they couldn't help people without a little showmanship. The first scene is probably the strongest connection you see between Doris and her family, as she loses her autonomy and starts the dissolution of her relationship with her mom and her sister. The next scene I am going to review is at the end of the movie, when Lena is in the mental ward for what happened to her family. Everyone died and they think she did it. The deterioration of her mental state and her relationships are pretty much as bad as it gets. It seems as if Lena has a complementary relationship with the psychiatrist that is talking to her. At the end of the movie, it seems as if the craven spirit has still attached itself to Doris, and Lena seems to have some kind of differentiation about Doris being around as the craven spirit, meaning she is disassociated from herself in order to separate herself from the situation to a certain degree. Conflict management. Towards the end of the movie, when Father Tom informs them that Doris is possessed by a craven spirit, they find that she has disappeared, and Lena's boyfriend, Mikey, is hanging from the ceiling. They go downstairs, and I think Father Tom does a great job managing a conflict. He has examined the conflict by finding out where Doris went inside the small tunneled room. He examined possible solutions and then decided to test the solution by going in himself. He then evaluated the solution, but even though he has a great conflict management skills, it wasn't even to keep him alive in this movie. Able to keep him alive in this movie. My overall review is that I was able to effectively define the different kinds of communication and relationships that occur in a horror movie like this. I think this was a good movie to examine the dialogue because a lot of it was very subtle and great to examine and look at the ways they communicated with each other and how they maintained and developed and deteriorated relationships. It was also a different setting than today. If it was set in 2018, I think things would be different in lots of ways, not just in attire and the entire feel of the movie, but also in the way they communicate. There are my citations. I still have to add one more citation to it. There you go. I forgot to add. Yeah, there is my project.